Hey everyone, Mr. Devil here, Kenny Danico, 3-time Stanley Cup champion of the New Jersey Devils, and you're listening to the Uncle Pucker's New Jersey Devils podcast. Let's go Devils!
Let's go Devils!
Hello everybody, welcome to the Uncle Pucker New Jersey Devil podcast, and we are the said Uncle Puckers. I'm Chris with Tim Wood, Bobby, Pennsylvania, and if you're watching us on the YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button, the alert bell, whatever other things there are to hit there. If you're listening to us on YouTube or on Spotify or Apple Music, a positive review, 5-star, give us some love for the little podcast that could. What's up, boys?
Hey, hi.
I can't figure out this light. I did 2 years on this podcast without this light shining down on me. I didn't change anything. I don't know what's going on.
It's just God saying.
So where is the light? Hi, Steven. It's nice of you to join us with such a pleasant hello. Yo, dicks. That's what he writes.
He gets the goat.
Give him the goat.
Give him the goat. that is actually kind of a really creepy noise. I think that, imagine hearing that in the middle of the night. Actually, I do hear shit like that around here.
We're gonna give the goat a job. That is the inappropriate goat.
Oh,
so anytime somebody says something inappropriate or Bobby deems inappropriate, he can.
Yeah,
I didn't hear it.
Oh wait. Oh, so it doesn't work from the top. Okay.
Kinda.
Why is it getting lower?
I don't know. Maybe we got to get the goat his own microphone.
Maybe the goat only can scream a couple of times, then you got to let it sit out.
No,
not everything can be the goat.
Maybe this microphone learned that to pick it up.
Microphone?
Microphone.
Maybe your son bought you a piece of shit and it broke already.
Maybe he was like, "You think you're the goat, Dad, but you're not."
Just throw it in the kitchen
where I
trash.
need the inappropriate goat sound.
Just throw it in the trash and see if he notices.
Did you guys have a good Father's Day?
Yes.
Sure.
I got nice
Tim,
things.
you and I didn't see our children on Father's Day.
Yeah, I got a couple of nice text messages and some cards.
I got one. I worked 38 hours over the last 3 days, so
Jesus.
I got my kids texted me, and then when I got home, my daughter actually, when she got home from work, was nice enough to actually wish me a happy Father's Day. My son completely forgot after the text, which I'm sure my wife told him to send. Mm-hmm. So that's it. So that's my Father's Day, but I don't celebrate shit like that. I'm not big on that kind of stuff.
I got lots of nice stuff.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you shared it all.
You got a goat.
I would have been happy with just a fucking goat.
Like, you actually remember it.
It's pretty badass. I got a picture of me and my boy turned into art by a local artist. I
Very
got chocolate
cool.
covered pretzels.
That's really cool that they took
really
that
cool,
picture
right?
and turned it into a painting.
I love it. It's one of my favorite pictures, and now it's a painting. We can,
it's a keeper.
Just hand it down, generation.
You look great in it too, Bob. You look nice and.
Have that surfer bod.
We know why it's your favorite. We know why it's your favorite picture.
Yeah, because I look super good. Yes, I know.
I did years ago when my son, who just turned 17, when he was about 5 or 6, I would say, he drew me a picture for my birthday, and it was just the cutest damn thing. It was like me as a stick figure holding his hand as a stick figure with little 5-year-old hearts around it, and I absolutely loved the picture so much that I actually got it tattooed on me. So that's probably like the only equivalent I have to your poster your picture that you got was the tattoo. I
argue yours might be a little more, it's a tattoo. Like
no, but yours is awesome too.
I also got to play MLB 25 the show with him.
How'd Soto do?
5.
I
he
love
had
that
2
game.
home runs and I won 8-4, just so you know. I don't even know how to play the game. Huh?
Who was Caden if you were the Mets?
I was the Mets, and who did he? He's San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like
he had
that.
2 inside the park home runs because apparently when I'm an outfielder, I can't figure out how to pick up the ball and throw it back. But I was doing good on the infield. I don't know why. I just double
kind of like me when I really play baseball and I'm in the outfield.
Like, why is he throwing it to second? I'm meant to throw it to first. Shit.
All the time.
Yeah, basically.
So
but I do like that you still kicked his ass.
No, yeah, I totally didn't expect to win. Just all of a sudden, I just wound up hitting a couple of home runs, and I wound up winning. He was destroying me the whole time, like stealing bases, knowing where to throw. It was crazy. But apparently, the game is so so much better technologically now that like I'm so used to playing in the old days. Like if the ball's hit the third base, right? As soon as you catch the ball, like I hit X or whatever, that's the equivalent to throw to first base. And I just habitually will just pound that button, like, right, just to make sure I hit it as fast as I can. Well, in this game, like literally, if you hit it twice, it makes him double clutch. I was like, you son of a bitch. So every time I caught the ball, I'm like, and he's just like, and then
right.
And the guy standing on second, I'm like, this is
that's already
jerking off the air.
Yes.
Yep. So I haven't played, as Stephen Engel just said, NHL 95 is a game of all games. I don't.
I was in NHL 94. 94, 95 were pretty good. I think 95 was the year they took out the blood. Like you could actually make someone bleed on the ice.
Which one did we play all the time? Bob, 94. Up at your school. 94?
Yeah,
okay.
94. Oh, yeah.
Sega Genesis, right?
Yeah. Sega Genesis first.
Sega
and then
Genesis,
even when I got some of the older ones, even like the last one I bought, 2014, which correlates to my son being born, which is why I don't have any new NHL games. But even that's got the 94 controls.
Ooh.
Now that's all I could play. I wasn't able to do skill stick 10 years ago, not to brag. I just can't figure that crap out anymore.
Yeah, the whole where like this is dangling and this is to do like a move and you got to press this button and this button and give it like one of these and you're just like, what the fuck?
So many buttons now.
Like, can I just pass and shoot and do like one timers and then like the Jeremy Roenick move and like call it a day?
That's why I was only good at like Blades of Steel, because it was just 2 buttons. You never wanted to be the fat guy. You had the fat guy. You had the skinny guy.
That was ice hockey. That was ice hockey. Blades of Steel.
Yeah, Blades of Steel. Yeah.
No, there are 2. Ice hockey
you
was like
talking...
the very first hockey game on Nintendo. Blades of Steel.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Blades of Steel.
But Blades of Steel was fun. It
was great. Yeah, you took that slap shot from the blue line that went in every single time.
So speaking of hockey, I'm sorry, Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say in NHL 94, my sneaky team was the Hartford Whalers. They were awesome. Jeff Sanderson, Sean Castles, Chris Pronger.
Was Ray Ferraro on that team?
No, it was
Ferraros.
I was telling Tim that story.
I heard it. I listened to the episode. Yeah,
completely forgot about that.
But anyway,
that was
because we played with like a no Blackhawks, no Red Wings. Like you couldn't be the Irishman Fedorov, or you couldn't be Roenick Amani. Jeremy Roenick and Tony Amani played together at the same boarding school.
Yes, I do.
No, I did not.
Yeah, that must have been like wildly unfair.
That was the 1994 Western Conference Final, wasn't it? 95 Western Conference Final.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
It was Chicago, Detroit, and then us and Philly. That was 95.
Yeah.
94 Eastern Conference Final, of course, was us and the Rangers. The Western Conference Final was Vancouver, LA?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember either. If anybody knows, let us know who was the Western Conference team that lost to the Vancouver Canucks in the Western Conference Finals 30-something years ago. So
we need to know this right now.
There's some fog up here from.
So, all right, Game 5, Stanley Cup Final. Man, what happened? What happened to our Oilers?
Don't know.
Oh, I switched, by the way. I'm on the Oiler bandwagon now. I'm done with now. I know, right? Because when it's inevitable, they're going to lose tomorrow night. I'm jumping on.
All right.
Yeah, I what happened? It was, other than Brad frickin' Marchand happened.
What an unbelievable turn of events. Like he's quite possibly, and I don't think a trade deadline acquisition has ever won the Conn Smythe. Like
he's not going to win the Conn Smythe.
I think he might if he puts up another game like he did the other night. Like he's right up there. Him and Bennett are right up there.
I think it's between those two, but I just think 15 goals in these playoffs is enough. 13 of them on the road. Like
that's fair. I feel like there is some. If he has another crazy performance, I feel like there is a decent amount of recency bias.
Dude, you can put him in the conversation for sure. I think if Bennett wasn't just blowing up the world right now, then it would be more legit. But you just can't. can't shake your head at this 13 goals or whatever. That's
I
crazy.
mean, Bob, that's why I sent you that clip of Marchand for
know.
Caden just jumping the face off on that play. Like that is such an elite play
It's
to
literally
do.
the one play because like I said, I was at a music festival, so I just had to watch the clips, and I wasn't even gonna that type of game. I was like, I don't even need to see the highlights, but then I was like, let me turn them on, and I'm really glad I did because I saw that and I was like, Jesus Christ, if ever there was something to show my kid about just keeping your feet moving and driving to the net, you know, what I mean, it's like the absolute perfect example. It was just amazing. It's amazing that he's doing
the
that.
ISO cam on him, watching him jump the face off, then get the puck, and then get the puck back, and then just absolutely dance Wallman like he did, and then the puck protection with two guys with Wallman on his back and another guy coming from over here just to protect the puck, and being only 5'9" and be able to kind of kick out your legs that wide and still get good momentum and good wood on. It's unbelievable, man. What I mean, he's probably made himself an extra $10 million.
Right, Florida, unfortunately, look, you look at this series, you look at the playoff in general, they don't have Sam Bennett, they don't have Brad Marchand. I don't think they're in the position they're in right now.
No. Like Barkov's been pretty quiet, Kachuk's been pretty quiet. Like
Reinhardt's been almost invisible.
1 goal. Verhaeghe, I think, is 1 goal. Rodriguez doesn't have
I don't
much
think he has
either.
any goals in this series.
Yeah.
So, you take those two guys who, I mean, this could be a huge blow for the Florida Panthers if they can't re-sign at least one of them. I think if they let both of those guys walk out the door, they might be in trouble come playoff time. I think they're going to be, of course, a very good regular season team. But then again, knowing, Zito, he'll just get 2 other guys that play like that at the deadline, and they'll win the cup next year.
And I was listening to Jeff Merrick got interviewed on this What Chaos show, and of course, with Devils Twitter doesn't have anything better to do. They argue about analytics versus the eye test. And it's pretty interesting. He basically was like, Bill Zito doesn't do anything without running it past Sonny Mehta, who's their analytics guy. And it's kind of like the sequencing of how I think most teams really operate, where they'll have a scout be like, hey, I think I like this guy. They'll have the analytics guy check him out, and then they'll watch the full kind of volume of his tape just to make sure that it kind of lines up with everything that they've seen before they make a decision on him. I think with known commodities like a Marchand or someone like that, it may be a little bit different of a process. But to be able to identify, like, this is what Marchand's really good at. He'll fit perfectly on our third line, with Lundell and Listerainen. That I think is pretty heavily analytically driven. Like, it's like Marchand excels at forechecking and getting on the puck and being kind of relentless, and there are microstats for all of that, and that'll fit really well with our third line. It's just a remarkable job these guys do. I'm like so envious of Florida.
They're a fantastic team.
You can't think they were going to get this much out of them, though, can you?
Out of Marchand,
you can hope, right? But you can't.
Right, and that's the thing. It's like, yeah, you could say the analytics say he fits, but if he just doesn't perform, like look at Timo Meier, right? I'm sure, they did a whole analytic workup on him, checked his eye test, for like, yeah, he's going to be great. And for whatever reason, the production hasn't been there. That's kind of the danger of doing that. But I think, with Marchand, it's worked. It's worked unbelievably. But it also worked with Bennett. It also worked with Reinhardt. It also worked with Forsling. It also worked with fucking Mikkola. It also worked with Boquist. It also worked with Nosek.
They have not made a bad move. They haven't,
No.
And I thought losing, Montour last year was going to be a blow, and they just plug other dudes in and they play. It really is,
Not to mention Seth Jones too.
Yeah.
And
who's having an unbelievable resurgence in his career. They are all showing up.
And they don't obviously get there without LTR either. Don't forget
no,
that.
that's true. But does whatchamacallit? Did they win it tomorrow? Is it over, or is Edmonton actually is McDavid and Draisaitl actually going to wake up? I mean, they've been great, but I'm saying actually carry this team to a win.
Is it tomorrow or is it tonight?
It's tomorrow.
It's definitely not tonight. It's 3 days with travel, right?
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah,
this in my head tonight. I thought we were going to record. I was going to watch that and then go to beer league. But...
Well, it's the other night. Well, because they had switched the game. I think the one game I thought was on. I forget what day it was, but I had called my wife and I was at work. I was like, just can you please set the recording? I thought that it was the next day, and it was a 2-day break. Oh, it was between games I think 3 and 4. They had a 2-day break. Like, why? They're not leaving Florida. I don't know, like, arena availability, whatever. But I felt the same way. I had my whole night planned of what I was going to do when I got home, and it all revolved around that game. And then I didn't get to watch it.
Yeah,
so but
I
what do you?
that, so I don't know how to put this. So I'm going to say that Edmonton wins just because I really want to see a game 7, and it'll go back to Edmonton. That'll add some intrigue. But at this point, and plus I picked them, but I don't know. Florida just looks like, Eye of the Tiger type shit, dude. They're just juggernauts. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that.
And they're home.
I want to see Game 7 just for Game 7's sake. Just have another Game 7. It would be awesome. This time it'll be in Edmonton.
Right.
And Edmonton said all along, if we take it to Game 7, we're going to win this. But, dude, I don't know, man. Florida, they step on your throats, and they don't let up. And I've never seen a team that smells blood and pounces on that better than they have. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a team like them.
And they're starting so quick.
Yes.
Right? I mean, come on. It's got to get into your head if you're Edmonton. Like, what the hell are we going to do? Because you're not beating them once they take that lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's also
you can play your guts out, but
Well, they had a 3-goal lead in Game 5, and they blew, or Game 4 rather, and they blew that. I mean, look, it's gone Florida, Edmonton. So Edmonton's due to win tomorrow, but I don't know. I mean, who gets in goal? I mean, I thought Skinner was done because Pickard played so good, but there's a big difference with getting that call cold off the bench. All right, get in there, and then having 2 days to actually think about your start and all of that.
Yeah,
and
you can't go to sleep at night and shit like that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, do you go back to Skinner? Do you?
Yeah,
I don't even know what to do.
Skinner's the guy, and I've heard a lot of discourse about this today that I kind of agree with. That Skinner's the guy. He's the guy that got you there. If you put Pickard in and he blows up, then you're second guessing about why did I do that. Skinner does seem to bounce back pretty well after really, really bad games. I know he got pulled, but like after really bad games, where he plays the whole thing and gets a night off and then comes back, he actually does pretty well.
And
so
I was going to say, just being an elimination game too, for just what you said. Like, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down with the guys that brought us here, and Skinner is that dude. So to just take him out and put Callan, I'm not sure about that.
Well, how about this? I mean, it's do or die from here on out. So do you? Is your proverbial leash a little bit shorter? If it's 2 goals on the first 2 shots, you're like, that's it, I've seen enough, or do you still give them rope?
That's a good question. I guess it depends on the goals. It depends on, stuff like that. But I mean,
just in general, you think it's shorter?
What if like he does some DeBoer shit and like then Knobloch gets fired? Like,
I don't know.
I don't see a world where Stu Skinner is their starting goalie next year.
No, I think that
I don't see that. I see Jake Allen or who's the guy in Anaheim?
Fucking Gibson.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, I mean, Skinner is, I've always just thought Skinner was a middle of the road goalie, but at the same time, this dude has brought you to 2 cup finals. I mean, they haven't won it. I get it. And I do think you have to upgrade in that position if you're Edmonton, because in reality, you only know that you have this team together for 1 more year, because you really don't know what happens with McDavid here on out. I mean, it's all assuming he's going to sign for, $20 million a year. Right. But again, you never know. So I think, Edmonton has to make whatever changes they have to do. They got to do it this summer. I mean, I don't know if John Gibson and Jake Allen are the answer, but
they have the same issue that we had. I mean, they are an elevated version of the Devils. They're top 3 players, I think, of something like 80-90% of the offensive production. It's Leon, Draisaitl, and like Evander Kane. And then like nobody else has really contributed much of anything this series. Yeah. Florida's the opposite. Kachuk, Barkov, Reinhart haven't really contributed much of anything, but it's all the third line, the fourth line, the second line that are bringing all the production.
Might be the best third line I've ever seen in the playoffs. I mean, ridiculous. But
since Bobby Holik.
Well, yeah, that's true. The crash line was amazing. All right, do a little shout out here, and then I want to talk about the big deal move that Tom Fitzgerald did for the New Jersey Devils. This is a game changer, boys. But first, the fastest game on ice just hit another gear. Welcome to the Stanley Cup Finals, where legends are made and every shift could turn the tide. And now with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, you can take every slap shot, breakaway, and overtime thriller to the next level. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code THPN to unlock a $300 in bonus bets when your $5 bet wins, only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive reward. Minimum minus 500 odds required. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, visit dkng.co/audio. That's DraftKings Sportsbook with code THPN. The crown is yours. Okay. So, what do we know about this? What's his name?
Juho Lamikko
From Finland.
from Finland.
And he's played in the NHL before, right?
And Juho We Trust. Yes, apparently he was a fourth liner on Vancouver. And Christy
Cool, so he's gonna be
Flannery.
like a first liner for us? Or...
Right.
Yeah.
Something like that?
Third line center. Come on down. So Christy Flannery today, kind of in the third paragraph of her column, mentioned that Dowling's agent said he's probably not coming back. So I'm guessing this is kind of that Dowling role that hopefully doesn't get as much utilized as much as Dowling and Tierney did historically. So no, he wasn't in the Four Nations. He played at the World Championships for Finland, which another kind of side thing about this, and I was thinking about stuff, is if Erik Haula is on the way out, we will not have any other Finnish guys, and they seem to like to hang out with each other. So this could also be a Lenny Hamaniho, mentor / buddy to hang out with. I guess they played together at the World Championships, know each other. So that's really kind of it. You know, it's a one-way contract, which doesn't mean he's just in the NHL. It means that he's getting paid the same amount in the NHL and the AHL. But
being that it's a one-way contract, though, he does have to clear waivers if he was to be ever sent down, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know, to be honest.
It's a two-way and the same salary. That's fine.
Yeah,
two-way and
right.
separate salaries, but
yeah, like I don't see why anyone would claim this guy.
Which brings me to my next question: is this a smart use of $800,000 to sign a dude that none of us know about and already basically has penciled himself into our fourth centerman role?
Well, hold on. What's the minimum now?
775, I think. 725.
So it's basically minimum. So
yeah, we're so thin on cap space. Like someone's got to get it. Like we got to get rid of somebody. I was all excited today when the Devils posted like a congratulations to Andre Palat on being selected to the Olympics, and then they deleted it. I was like, oh, did they delete it because they know he's getting traded? And no, it wasn't. It was because they said he was from Slovakia, not Czechia.
So we don't even know our I guess whatever fucking word I'm looking for. I'm sorry, I'm like on no sleep. But anyway, they don't know who this guy who's been with the Devils for 3 years, what country he's from. I mean, if this is how we're going to start our off season, with an $800,000 nobody from Finland and not knowing where Andre Palat is from.
Hold on. First of all, you can't blame the marketing team for waking up today and being like, oh shit, Andre Palat's on the team. We got to put something out there. It's not their fault. He's invisible.
This guy. All right. He's from Slovakia, right? Sure. Press send.
But then what does this mean for Cody Glass? Is he going to be,
Cody Glass is an RF. He's an RFA.
He's just going to be our Curtis McDermott and just spend every game in the press box.
I do not know why we would have traded for Cody Glass if it wasn't because he was an RFA and we controlled his rights and had the ability to resign him.
I agree.
I don't understand that move. the Dumoulin move, maybe I kind of get that they're going
You
to
have
just
to
let him
get
walk.
Dumoulin.
Yeah, we needed like a warm body. I was about to get my shit and like go fucking stand outside Prudential Center and be like, hey,
and that one actually worked out too.
Yeah,
forget about
exactly.
what we had to give up to get him, and if we're not going to keep him and all that stuff. Like it worked out for what we did. Even though you might, as a manager, sit there and realistically say we're not winning the cup, like you still gotta at least try, to win as much as you can.
Yeah. Then what happened, Stephen Engel?
What do you say?
It was all Germany until 1918.
I'm so worried that Tom Fitzgerald is going to screw this up. I mean, I really am.
Well, maybe this new dude is like that super deep scouting, and he's just going to come in and just be great and fit right in.
Maybe.
Nobody having ever seen him play before. But
we found Rafalski on the scrap heap in Finland.
That's true. That's true.
At 27, 28. This guy's 29. He's been the other problem that I have is that he's been in the NHL before and got kind of kicked to the curb and then bounced around like the KHL and was in the Swiss league and all this shit. And there's another weird thing, I guess. He was still under contract in Switzerland, which may have been one of the reasons why it's a one-way contract. But I don't get the sequencing of this. It's like I know Fitzpatrick does not give a shit about what the fan base sentiment is and has things planned out. And I find I have a very difficult time giving him the benefit of the doubt right now. But the one thing he's been able to do is work pretty well in the offseason when he has enough time.
Yes, don't expect him to do anything drastic during the season. Like whatever
when games are going by, like he's worthless. But when nothing else is happening and he has the ability to have time,
you got to basically buckle in come October, knowing this is our core, this is our team. He's not going to change it.
I was thinking about watching Florida and Marchand, and I was like, if we were ready to go into the playoffs, solid, healthy, this is the type of move that I don't think he would ever have the balls to do, and it really paid off. Now maybe it doesn't pay off the exact same way on the Devils, but his type of game. And I would never see that coming from him. And that's kind of a shame because
I agree.
Florida, the dude hated everybody in Florida like a motherfucker. Like he wanted to kill all of them. He's like, oh, I'm the team now? Fine. That's cool.
Well, but he also directed himself to Florida to get traded only to Florida. That's why he didn't really cost too much.
Sure. But still though, Bobby's point, is Tom Fitzgerald capable once the Devils are there to make that kind of game-changing move? Like he did do it with Timo. He felt good about that team. He brought Timo Meier in. That was a huge, huge move for the Devils, which we're yet to see whether or not it paid off. But regardless, it was a big move. Look, I thought so highly of Tom Fitzgerald up until the last couple of seasons, and then especially last season. I can't put any more faith in him. Like now it's like, okay, show us, Tom. Show us that you can actually put together a team that can win in the playoffs.
Yeah, fool me once,
Yeah, because for all intents and I like it. Sleepy-eyed Tim. For all intents and purposes, you look at the Eastern Conference, you look at the Metropolitan Division, the Devils, in my opinion, with just the core guys that we have right now, they're top 1 or 2 in that conference right now, in that division. I think that when healthy, we've talked about it, I think they're better than Carolina, regardless of what happened in the playoffs. I think Washington's going to regress. I have no idea what's going on with the Rangers. Do we think that? I think, to me, honestly, like the only team that I can see really giving if Tom Fitzgerald does this right in the Metropolitan Division, watch out for Columbus, because I think it could very well be a Columbus Blue Jacket, New Jersey Devil race to first in the Metro next year if Fitzgerald doesn't completely.
Carolina will be there too.
No, they won't.
Yeah, they will.
They won't.
$30 million in cap space. Carolina will be there.
Well, we'll see. We will see. I hope not, but we will see. Yeah, I know we only have a couple of weeks.
Except now that we have Juho on our team.
That's true. Maybe we just, that's all we need. Maybe our bottom 6 is now fixed because we have Juho. I do like your idea of maybe this is somebody to come in, and then with the idea that Hamanaho is coming in, that, that look kind of big brother thing. I like that because the idea of giving our younger guys a good, real hard look this offseason and in training camp, I want to see these guys on the team. So I'm really hoping that this year we'll see not just the Russian kid, maybe we'll see Hamanaho.
And one of the writers put out something, and kind of what got me thinking about the mentor thing was, I forget if it was Daniel Moya or Chauvency or who wrote it up, but they suggested a trade of Palat for Tarasenko, 1-for-1. Because Tarasenko didn't play very well in Detroit. And, Palat is an Yzerman guy from Tampa Bay, which is kind of interesting. God knows what Tarasenko has left in the tank. But bringing Tarasenko in then to be kind of a mentor for Gritsuk as well, because, we're bringing this kid over, we're going to put him on this team. God knows what his English is like. So I don't know. There's a lot of moving pieces. I just want something to happen.
Tarasenko, to me, he's now a fourth liner. On the Devils team, he's a fourth liner. I don't know if you would move him up to the third. To me, that's, I don't know. But, he played well for Florida 2 years ago in the playoffs. Playing in that third line spot, he did play well for Florida. Detroit's a fucking disaster no matter how you cut it. So, I think he still has something in the tank. I really want to see a big move, though. If you're going to make some trades, I want to see, and I'm not just talking the Quinn Hughes thing. Like, you're talking to winger, Stephen Engel always talks about, Tuck. We love Alex Tuck. Another guy that I've been just high on. I don't think they're ever going to move him, but Jordan Kyrou. I would love to have Kyrou on
his
this
name
team.
Popped up recently. As a possibility. I have no idea why St. Louis would give him up. That seems crazy to me. But yeah, he would be unbelievable.
So we'll see what happens. So Bob,
I think I'm resigned myself to the fact that we're going to get some kind of middle six guys, and no big name, no big splash. The core will be intact. Dougie will still be around, and maybe Holla and Mercer are the guys.
During the exit interview that he did, the press conference that he did, he seemed genuinely pissed, and in the sense of these guys, we can't win with them. He didn't say these words, but if you read between the lines, it was this team, especially this bottom six. We can't win with them, and they need to be revamped. And guys that didn't produce need to go. And the fact that he even said it in that way kind of surprised me, because Tom Fitzgerald is not usually that harsh. So, maybe that's hopeful. Maybe that is hopeful that he will actually say, fuck it, we're going to change this thing, and we're going to have healthy Hughes boys in, and we're going to fucking get everything out of Timo this year, and we're going to go for it. Bob, you have a devil's advocate?
I do have a set of 3 particular questions that I would love to play devil's advocate.
I think we should play then.
I think we should. I think it was a good success, and
I had a lot of fun. That got me fired up.
Yeah, we gotta.
I was laughing my ass off when I listened to it back the next day.
I haven't even listened to it yet, but got a couple messages on Blue Sky. Somebody who I guess is a new listener said that they loved it. So it's all right. We'll keep going.
I saw one that was very funny and that kind of thing. So, yeah, we're gonna do devil's advocate. We're gonna do 3 questions. Or scenarios, I guess, whatever. I'll decide on the fly which one of you are arguing which side as I see your faces when I go through this.
All right.
So, okay. In 1983,
Chris, seriously.
I can't wait.
After I figured Chris deserves to get in this, so I quickly pulled this together.
I appreciate it.
After a 13-4 rout by the Edmonton Oilers, Wayne Gretzky went on to make his Mickey Mouse organization comment. He has since said that he felt that comment was blown out of proportion. Tim, you are going to argue why that comment was necessary and was correct. And Chris, you are going to argue why that was a very mean thing to say and should never, ever be done in sports. And go.
Who goes first?
Tim, why was he right to say that?
Of course, it was necessary. We just got the shit kicked out of us 13-4. Like that shows that we did not belong in the same fucking league as one of the best teams in the league. That was the year that the Oilers started making their come up. I think they lost to the Islanders in the finals that year and then won the cup the next year. You want to win cups? You listen to the guy that wins cups. Yeah, it was necessary. It was fucking embarrassing. I was 5 years old, beat up my grandmother afterwards.
Well, that's regardless of the fact that, the Devils were regardless of the fact, Tim, that the Devils were extremely bad in that time. These are professionals. These are guys that are going out there and they're trying their best. And for somebody to go and call them something hurtful, like a Mickey Mouse organization, these are human beings with hearts and feelings. And I just think that Wayne Gretzky needs to be a lot more just open-minded and you just don't go saying things like Mickey Mouse organization. I don't even like saying it. It disgusts me to even say those words. And he should be ashamed. And the Devils and Devil fans should never forgive him for such a hurtful, harsh comment. No, it was not warranted. It was over the goddamn line. Mickey Mouse. Jesus.
Any rebuttal, Tim, or would you like to rest?
Oh, my God. Professional ice hockey players
with feelings
are doing their best. They have feelings.
Yes.
Did they need some cuddles? They need to be the big spoon later. Do they need?
The rumor was out there that
they need to go watch Golden Girls repeats.
After that game, Ken Danico was inconsolable because he actually thought Wayne Gretzky was his friend, and then to say something that hurt, he was inconsolable. I mean, this is ridiculous. I heard Carpenter was just tapping his head. He was going, Kenny, it's okay. And he's like, why did he say that? And, this took a while for these guys to get over that hump. And that was a big, I think, thing that really set this team back. I just think they didn't believe in themselves anymore.
We won 3 cups after that. We made the playoffs a couple years later. And that we needed
12 years later.
We are based in Nashville right now. You and I are wearing fucking cowboy hats. We're line dancing. That's what happens to this team if Wayne Gretzky doesn't call us a Mickey Mouse franchise.
I don't know. I think I'm absolutely in the right on this one.
I've made my ruling.
The big men are very, very sad.
Chris has been like the ultimate ball buster for like the 40 some odd years I've known him or whatever. And for him to break out the heartstrings and talk about players.
He was 100% right for saying that. It's the only angle I had.
It was pretty good. Pretty good.
I couldn't keep that. I couldn't keep it together when you're like, feelings, man.
Because feelings
are friends. He said they were friends. He was tapping.
And it was absolutely blown out of proportion. Like, I mean, the fact that Devil fans were pissed about that. Like,
of course they are.
They were. They just lost.
As fans.
What was the score? 13-1.
13-4.
13-4. Jesus. Yeah. They deserve.
I mean, it's bulletin board material. Just now. That's why that's a turn.
Okay.
I'm with you. All right. Next question.
Number 2.
They were friends.
Everybody knows that Wayne Gretzky is the highest scorer in the NHL.
Is the hottest what?
He was the highest scorer in the NHL.
Right.
There are a contingent of people who believe that pound for pound, Mario Lemieux was a better hockey player. There is an average scoring of 1.92 points per game for Gretzky in his career and 1.88 points per game for Lemieux in his much shorter career, 1,487 games to 915. Gretzky scored goals at a 0.6% pace per game, and Lemieux at a 0.75% pace per game. Chris, you are going to argue that Wayne Gretzky is, in fact, by far way better than Mario Lemieux. Tim, you are going to argue for Mario Lemieux being the better hockey player if it all went down a different way.
Right.
Chris, you may go first.
Super Mario is a cool nickname, but it's not as cool as the Great One. You don't even have to put Wayne or Gretzky in that nickname and everybody knows who you're talking about. Just the great one. So, take the cups, right? 4 cups, right? Or did he win 3? I think he won 3, right? But then this guy who by far, look, Mario Lemieux was an amazing goal scorer, amazing hockey player, but Wayne Gretzky changed the game. An entire country sobbed and mourned for months because this one dude got traded to an American team. All right. And they got the fact that I don't even think Edmonton is still over it. All right. And this guy's just anywhere he goes. He went to LA, brought them not a cup, but he went to a cup final and, brought the team there. We're going to kind of skip over his St. Louis journey because that was terrible. But even with the Rangers, he was very good here, and he was not a fraction of the player that he used to be. But in his prime, every single young kid who watched hockey, or even they wanted to be Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky, but he has all the records, and now they're starting to get a little bit broken with Ovechkins and everything like that. But Gretzky has more records, especially playoff records, that are never going to be beat. He's got the cups, he has the records. He by far was a better player than Super Mario. Oh, who are you talking about? You can't just say Super. Nope, nobody knows what you're saying. Super Mario. Oh yeah, Mario Lemieux. I get it. The great one. End of story.
You're talking about Wayne Gretzky, right? The guy that was accepted.
Wayne Gretzky,
the guy that was accepted into the Hall of Fame. That's the guy you're defending.
That's the guy I'm defending.
Not the most talented player that has ever set foot on the ice. The guy that, okay, tell you what, have Wayne Gretzky go smoke a pack of butts, get chemotherapy, and come out and score 5 goals in a game. Because do you know who did that? Mario fucking Lemieux did that. Do you know what Mario Lemieux also did? He rescued the Pittsburgh Penguins franchise from moving out of Pittsburgh. Wayne Gretzky just got traded to LA because his owner in Edmonton was a fucking crook and a gambler. Mario Lemieux saved hockey in the city of Pittsburgh. Mario Lemieux is a legend. He's the greatest hockey player who's ever set foot on the ice. The grace that he could skate through the neutral zone, he would absolutely fucking cook people and make them look stupid. And you know what he also did? He made turtlenecks cool for about 5 years.
Could argue that.
Case closed.
So far, I've had 2 subjects that I don't agree with that I've had to argue with because I so much liked Mario Lemieux so much better than Wayne Gretzky. But Tim, you won that argument. Like, I got nothing else to say. I can't defend Gretzky that much when it comes to who is a better player. I honestly believe, I don't know if you do. I mean, I know you're arguing the point, but I honestly believe that Mario Lemieux in my lifetime was the best hockey player I've ever seen.
Mario Lemieux was Claude Lemieux is better than Mario Lemieux. Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch. Mario was probably the most talented player of his generation, but it's every generation. It's so hard to compare. Sure. But if you look at what both of them did relative to their peers, they're both somewhat peerless.
And you look at what you said though,
like some of the shit that Gretzky did, like outrageous. But he was also a point grubber. He would go to the bench and be like, who got the second assist on that? Gretzky would be like, yeah, I did. Or the refs would just give him a point because they'd be like, Gretzky was on the ice. He probably got the other assist.
And Mario was fucking big, and he was tough, and he was just a gritty-ass player. Mario Lemieux had everything you'd want out of a hockey player. I mean, everything. The grit, the size, the speed. And he put it all together. 1 cup. You're 100% right.
And the one thing that I will like him floating through the neutral zone, like is just the grace that he skated with and handled the puck with is unparalleled.
Do you guys remember a game probably in the mid to late 90s, probably late 90s, and Devils were playing Pittsburgh, and it was a 2-on-0. It was Lemieux and Jágr.
Yes.
And Jágr was kind of coming in a little bit behind Lemieux. And Lemieux made the fake, and Brodeur made the save. Rebound went right to Jágr's stick, and Brodeur made that save. I still, like, when I think about Brodeur, that one save, you just stopped the 2 best players in the fucking league on a 2-on-0. I mean, the guy was
so many amazing saves that Brodeur's made. That one is literally painted in my memory.
Yep.
Like, it was that insane, dude.
Yeah, because you're like, holy shit, it's Lemieux and Jágr. I mean, honestly, Brodeur was probably thinking that to himself too. It's like, oh fuck.
Just shit himself, close his eyes,
Yeah,
threw
just
his
like,
leg
oh
out.
god damn it, it has to be these two.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
ridiculous. But I love
Can't be
Lemieux.
my sister-in-law in a Sprite.
I was never. I hated Gretzky. Like when I was,
Really?
in the hockey, I didn't like him. I just.
When I was a kid, like I read Gretzky's autobiography maybe like 15 times.
I mean, he seems like a really nice dude. Now he's out of it. Like I like his stories. He just seems like a nice guy. He seems like a personable dude. I mean, he's
probably not going to like question 3 then. Before we get there, I will just say that, I'm going to go ahead and award Tim the victory on that one because it's no secret to me as well. I believe pound per pound, you put these two together and extend Mario's career to something healthy like Gretzky, and it's a lot closer of a conversation. And when you put him in that big frame and everything he did, I think Lemieux was the better hockey player.
He did smoke cigarettes, by the way, like in between periods.
Did he really?
He's like
and
butts,
fucking had chemotherapy and came back. I mean, this
the
guy
same
had
day.
cancer.
His first day back. I think that
cancer.
That stretch that he had after he came back, where he had something, I don't know, he had like 70, 80 points in like 25 games or something outrageous like that.
Miracle shit.
I mean, Gretzky had 200 something points, 215 points, I think, in one season, which is
ridiculous.
Fucking outrageous. But
50 points in 50
if you
games,
watch some of the
50
highlights
goals in 50 games, like
if you watch some of the highlights of like the goaltending that played in his area, you're like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
I know.
They have like couch cushions strapped to their legs, like I think I might have a harder shot than Gretzky did at that point.
Yeah, you might have. All right, what's up, Jay Snow? What's happening? All right, give us the rubber match.
Is this another Gretzky question?
I'm trying to figure out.
I think it is.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get the best out of Chris, which way he's going on this. So
Jesus
I want a little more animation from Chris. I got to tell you. Okay, so I'll bring this into. I'll make it Devils. So you're at a Devils game. No, the Devils are in the finals. You're at a finals game. Stanley Cup is on the line. So therefore, you got Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier, part of the booth, doing the calls in between the games. You have an option to go up and punch one of them in the face. Do you punch Mark Messier or do you punch Wayne Gretzky? Chris, you will argue why it is better to punch Mark Messier.
Yes. God damn it. This isn't fair.
Because he's Mark fucking Messier. I mean, is there not a more punchable face in professional sports than Tony likes to say he looks like Sam the Eagle from the Muppets? Mark Messier is a fucking jerk off. All right. First of all, the dude goes and takes, the whole Edmonton Oiler team and brings it with him to New York just for the big bucks, pre-salary cap. These guys, we're going to pay everybody to bring a Stanley Cup here. You bring in Mark Messier, who unbelievable hockey player. But you say, and this dude has more hype on him for fucking saying, the guarantee. Everybody loves to talk about the guarantee. All he said was, I guarantee we'll win tonight. Like, that's all that, like, it was not I'm making a declaration that the New York Rangers, or he said something like, I think when they were asked about it, it was like, yeah, I guarantee it. Like, it was like in a flippant moment that the media has made immortal because the motherfucker got his 3 goals. One was an empty netter and forced a game 7. I'm sorry. Mark Messier is a biggest fucking chump. Has nothing to do with him as a hockey player. This has everything to do with him personally. I can't stand the man. And I would, if he was in the bench, in the booth, if he was at an airport, if I ever saw him, I would go up and punch him in the face, punch him square in his stupid, bald little face. And I would just go, yeah, Mark, Devil fan. That's all I'd say. Devil fan. Because no Devil fan should have respect for Mark Messier at all. No Devil fan should like Mark Messier at all. And I'll actually go on record to say every Devil fan should take the chance, if they ever have it, to punch him in the face. So, yeah, Mark Messier. I have no reason to punch Wayne Gretzky, Mickey Mouse organization. Okay, he hurt the guy's feelings. He said some mean things about him, but that doesn't deserve a punch in the face. I mean, a stern talking to, like maybe, have him sit down and explain to him how he made everybody feel, and then maybe to get a heartfelt apology from him. Violence is never the way. Unless it's
let him steal all of my arguments here. Like, what's happening?
It's only Mark Messier. That is the only person that I will condone violence for.
Okay, if you had the
Then why
choice
should we
between the two,
punch Gretzky?
okay, I am punching Wayne Gretzky in the face. Mark Messier would fucking break me in half and throw me into the snack bar.
Wait,
Are you
Bobby
kidding?
didn't say they could punch us back.
Hey, I don't know what's going to happen when you punch one of
Yeah,
these
exactly.
guys.
You
Dude. Tim's
punch
got a
them.
point.
What you think you cannot like Jay Snow said? Messier's ripped for an old fuck. I'm not messing
he
with
is.
Mark Messier. What are you kidding me? Wayne Gretzky's a drunk little man. Like I could beat the fuck out of that guy. Messier would probably kick my ass after I kick Gretzky's ass if they're standing next to each other. So beat the shit out of Gretzky. Fuck him for whatever happened. And did stuff. You know what? Do you know why? Because he called us a Mickey Mouse franchise. Because we have feelings, and he made me very sad.
Does that
And
deserve
Ken
punching him?
Danico cried for 2
did.
years after that. He cried in his bed. Bobby Carpenter had to pat him on top of the head and say, "It's going to be okay, Kenneth. It's going to be okay."
I don't
That's
know.
why. That's why. Dwayne Jetski is a big meanie pants for calling us a Mickey Mouse franchise.
It's hard to argue that. Can we punch them both?
Yeah, can we just tell them both to shut the fuck up? Tell
You're
Gretzky to
each-
just
yeah, you can each punch
go
whoever
slug
you
another
want.
bottle of wine, you fucking drunk.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
just put
He's
mine.
pretty much always drunk.
Yeah.
And
I would
don't.
be too if I was like a rich, old, awesome hockey player.
Yeah,
Fucking
and I don't
rolling
hate
around-
Mark Messier as an
rolling
analyst
around
at all.
Scottsdale in a golf cart, just fucking picking fights with people. I'm Dwayne Jetski. Woo!
So who would you punch, Bob?
Mark Messier, dude.
Yeah.
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 I'll punch and
wasn't-
run,
that wasn't a
Tim. I don't
fair-
care if
that
he's going to
wasn't-
break me.
That wasn't a fair argument.
But
You're like Messier's size. I'm like Gretzky's size.
You did really well, and you came back into the emotional thing that gave Chris his lift in the first one. So I don't know whether to award you a point for that or just call you out for plagiarism. So
It's called
I got
spinning
a
the
little
argument
bit to
back on
juggle
its
here.
head.
And it seems to me that Chris made the ultimate argument, which I have made on this show probably way too many times, which was that stupid guarantee that happened to fall his freaking way. I'm so tired of hearing about it. And I also don't like his face. Chris, you win for punching the guy who's ugly as hell.
But what about our feelings?
Feelings be damned.
It is a damn good argument, though, Tim. You can always go back to the hurtful feelings.
I did enjoy it. I had that in my back pocket. You started to talk about it. I was like, fuck, shut up.
I know I got off it quick when you said it. But whatchamacallit, you should definitely get the questions for next time we do this, though, Tim.
Me? All right.
Yes. So
Loser
that was
deserves
lot
a
of fun.
chance.
I'll think about it.
That was a ton of fun. But I'll go back. Have you guys enjoyed the announcing at this Stanley Cup final? I know I always go back to it. I can't stand those guys.
I do not understand why ESPN didn't use Bob Wischusen more.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
why
know
is
why.
Kenny Albert the fucking play-by-play guy?
I like Kenny Albert. I fucking hate old Chuck. I like Boucher between the benches.
I do too.
It's just old Chuck, and I do like the panels between the Turner panel between periods before over ESPN. Like Jay Snow just said, like listening to Messier talk and like just his clear fucking hatred of PK Subban and that ridiculous VR thing that they did with PK Subban. I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah, PK's doing his best. He's really being put into a really rough situation.
Yeah, I know.
I think
he's like, just keep sending me checks.
He watches the TNT broadcast and he's just like, I could have so much of a better vibe on this thing than I am with just Mark and Steve Levy.
And do you know what blows my mind every time about the TNT panel is as much of a clown as Biz is. When he gets like in serious mode, breaking down a play, like he's really fucking good
at
breaking down a play. It's like I had the hardest time like reconciling in my head. I'm like, this guy that's talking about like sandpaper finishes and stuff, and he's the one like that just broke that down expertly. And that's why I always see like the guys that are like good coaches and analysts and stuff tend to be grinders because they're the ones that had to know the structures and the plays and how everything works much more so than like the really good players.
The tough guys are the best analysts. I mean, yeah, by far. And they're like the smartest dudes. Fucking Stu Grimson on NHL Network. Like you're just watching Stu his whole career. You just think he's some big dummy that goes out there and throws his fist every once in a while. The dude's brilliant. You know, and yeah, I'm with you, man.
You get a lot of time to watch the game too. They get to soak it all in.
That's a great point, Bobby.
Did you see that one meme though? It's like the panel. It's got Gretzky and Messier and what's his name that you just said, and it was like leading scorer of all time, 4 cups, this and that, and then it goes to him and he's like 7 goals.
7 goals. Yeah, yeah. It was because Yager was there.
That's right.
It was Yager second all time points, Gretzky first all time points, Anson Carter like world championships, gold medals, Biz 7 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with Jay Snow. Like he gets so much shit. Like I like he's great for the game. Like he really is. He makes it fun. And I feel like that's why people that's why I feel like the Turner panel. He says some dumb shit sometimes, and but like he has a show to do, and that's what he is. And like he's a showman. And
no,
and
the TNT panel is much more palpable than the ESPN one. Yeah. I despise ESPN, but I cannot stand Kenny Albert, and the fact that I actually feel a little bad for Ranger fans that they have to listen to him for the next 20 years do their play-by-play. I don't like him. I can't stand his stupid voice. And I hate when he does our football games. I hate when I put Viking games on and it's Kenny Albert here from Minneapolis. Shut up.
It's such a good impression of him.
So annoying.
And Jay Snow brought up Anson Carter. Do you follow Heat Daddy on Twitter and Jay Swish? They fucking rip into Anson Carter. They're like, who fucking gave him? Did he give himself the name Ace? They're like, hey, Ace, it's Ace here. Hey, Bones, it's Ace. Ace, it's Bones. Hey, it's Ace. Yeah. Hey, it's Ace here. It's fucking
nobody
hilarious.
Should ever give themselves their own nickname. But I wanted to touch on Luke Hughes' contract, but we're not going to do that tonight. We're going to save that for the next show. So just kind of, what do you guys think? I mean, is this going to be an 8-year deal? Is it going to be a bridge deal? Like, what do you think is better? We'll go over that on the next show. So hang a little teaser out there.
Time.
Yeah, so we're gonna wrap this thing up, guys. Thanks again for hanging out with us. Always fun chilling with you all. Don't forget, on the YouTube channel, hit the subscription button, like us, whatever, on wherever you're listening or watching.
Yeah.
We're the Uncle Puckers.
Stuff at the bottom, ignore.
Stuff at the bottom. Yeah, thanks to THPN. I mean, without them, really, this show is not possible. Yep. For Tim and Bob, I'm Chris. We're the Uncle Puckers, and we'll see you when we see you.
Have a good pucking night.
Who's not the GOAT? Who's not the GOAT?
Who's not the GOAT?
Valaket is not the GOAT.
Bobby, I think have a good pucking night should be the way you sign off now. I kind of like that.
Even if it's in the afternoon?
No, go to bye-byes in the afternoon.
Bye-byes.
Okay. And
it's over, Johnny. It's over!